And maybe not even a month to 2 months after graduating, I found out I was pregnant. And Nathaniel's biological father decided that he wasn't going to be a part of Nate's life. And he went around and told people that that wasn't his child and I slept with other people. Okay, that's the position you want to take? No
Right.
problem. I'm keeping my baby and I'm going to do what I have to do.
Hey everyone, welcome to the J. Christyn Show. Today we have a super special day and a super special guest. My guest is a real boss at every sense of the word. Bold, outstanding, sassy, sophisticated mom, wife, and entrepreneur. She was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. She left behind a promising career in the corporate sector and founded a well-known beauty brand, Coloured Raine, in 2013. Her product has been worn by some well-known A-list celebrities, beauty influencers, and worn by your favorite podcaster every week. On top of all of that, she's family. Everyone, please welcome my amazing guest, Loraine Roberts-Dowdy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, Jessica.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
you.
At the end of this, guys, stay tuned. Watch the episode all the way to the end because we have a special giveaway at the end. So see how you can win it, and let's get into this. So at first, I was gonna say, let you brag about yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you do it.
Well, I don't brag. I'm very modest and I'm very humble, but I'm Loraine. Once again, I'm the CEO and founder of Coloured Raine Cosmetics. The brand been around for about 10 years now. Actually, tomorrow it will be the 10-year mark. It'll be
Ooh,
our
happy
10th
anniversary!
anniversary. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so we've been around for 10 years. I left corporate America to start my own beauty brand simply because I have an innate desire for color and simply because I hate coloring inside the lines. I've always been that rebellious
Mhm.
teenager, that rebellious child, the one that always used to get in the most trouble. So, yeah, I started it because I just love color. And I feel like people should be able to express their beauty, regardless of their walk and their choice of life, whatever it is that they desire to do in life. And simply because we have beautiful features inside and out, and let's enhance that beauty. So I
Yeah.
create, color cosmetics that are made specifically for people of color, keeping people of color in mind, but made for everyone. So yeah, that's how Coloured Raine started. And yeah.
So for me, when you first started, well, not when you first started online, but when you introduced me to the line, that's all I use. That's all I know. Like it makes me feel, I think I told you before, it brings out the beauty that's already inside. And I feel comfortable with it. I like a natural look. So it's like, oh, I get to look natural and beautiful all in one. So, I really want to know what's new with you and what's new with Color Rain because I'm excited about what's next.
What's new with me? Well, I will say over the past 2 to 3 years, I've been growing spiritually, right? I've
Mhm.
been working on my spiritual relationship with God and just learning different things about myself. So that's essentially what's good with me, or what's new with me, I should say, as a brief summary. What's new with Colored Raine is this year we're tapping into our complexion category, which is the first for the brand. I'm
Mhm.
actually wearing the product now. It's called Skin Sticks. It's
Okay.
essentially a multi-use foundation stick that you can use for highlighting, you can use for bronzing, you can use for contour, and obviously your base. It was formulated with jojoba oil, vitamin E, hydrogenated coconut oil, and it's an all clean formula. The reason why I came up with this formula, essentially, I created a satin liquid foundation about 3, 4 years ago. It went viral in 2019. Patrick knows about this. We briefly discussed it. It went viral in 2019, and then COVID happened. So it kind of put a halt on everything, and we were all staying home, right? So we had nowhere to go. And essentially, skincare started coming up on the rise. So therefore, I had to rethink formula and, come up with a product that made people feel like they were essentially wearing nothing. Since we were embracing our skin, we weren't going
Yeah.
anywhere. I wanted a product that essentially looked like skin. So hence the reason the name Skin Sticks, because it literally looks like skin. It just gives you this natural, supple, glowy skin. And that's how our Skin Sticks came about. And it'll be launching in this year along with some other exciting things in the works. Most importantly, when creating my products, I try to keep it super affordable because it's a luxury item. It's not necessarily something that you need. However, if you are a makeup lover and you enjoy enhancing your outward beauty, I want to make sure that it's affordable and not only just, something that works for you, but something that's affordable and not breaking a pocket.
Yeah. It looks really good.
Thank you.
I already think your skin is beautiful. So to look natural, and I think that's the thing I'm looking for. I don't want to look or feel like something's heavy on my skin.
Right.
And
Well,
especially in the summertime.
absolutely nothing. Think of it more like a skin conditioner. So that's exactly what it's going to feel like. It's conditioning your skin. And as you get older, I'll be 45 this year. As you get older, you're looking for more healthy, glowy skin. So therefore, that's exactly what I wanted. And I feel that it's important for us to take care of our skin at a very young age. And so we essentially created a formula that it's going to be super skin friendly and all clean, no toxins, free from formaldehydes, gluten free, paraben free, talc free, so and cruelty free and vegan, if I didn't say that already. But these are important factors, and I'm super sensitive and very, very, very sensitive about my skin. Not only is it sensitive physically, but I'm just very, very particular on what the kind of products that I put on my skin. So when I formulated this product, I thought about everyone else, not just my needs. I thought about everyone else. So
yeah. And don't just throw out I'm 45 and looking 20. Like you can't just say I'm 40.
No, I gotta brag about that. That's the one thing I will brag about. Okay. 45 where?
Right. So what celebrities were you most excited about wearing your product and why?
Honestly, I was excited about each and every one of them that has worn Coloured Raine product. In 2016, Rihanna wore our world famous shade that everyone loves, Cherry Blossom. She wore it for the opening act in the 2016 MTV Music Awards. It's been seen on Nicki Minaj. I forgot the video that she's worn it in. It's been seen on Gabrielle Union. Tracy Ellis Ross was really the first celebrity that made the brand known as far as, this is the product that I'm wearing, because she loves a red lip and she's known for wearing a red lip. We have Amber Rose that has worn it, Dasha Polanco, Vanessa Simmons, and so many more. And I'm grateful for that, for the simple fact that I didn't go out of my way to send product to these individuals, and I had no idea that it was being worn by them until they actually mentioned the product being worn. And then makeup artists for Rihanna and for Nicki Minaj reached out and said, hey, we love your product. Rihanna is a fan of your product and would love to even wear your product on her Navy tour. So stuff like that, I take it as a compliment. But the real celebrity to me is my everyday loyal customers. They're the ones, I look at them as investors of the business, right? Because they are taking their hard-earned money and they're trusting in my product and my vision to buying something that, enhances their beauty. So I'm appreciative of that. Appreciative of the celebrities, but the real winners to me are the everyday loyal customers.
So let's talk about that red lip. I would have never wore red until I wore that red.
Are you serious? You know how many times I've heard that? It's amazing because
and I know this lady.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I know this lady that said you have to find your right red, and I never found it until.
It's true. I can attest to that. That's true. Now, see, I personally, growing up, I will say that I've always been made fun of because I have big, full lips and my big, bold eyes. And so I always felt like I could not wear a colorful lip product. I felt like, a red lipstick would cause people to stare even more. And I was already insecure because, growing up and being told that you have big lips, it wasn't necessarily a compliment back then in the 80s, and 90s. But now as,
Right.
I'm a grown woman, I embrace these features because you have people now that would seek medical advice or,
Yep.
take different measures to try to attain fuller lips. So, when we came out with the color Cherry Blossom, we wanted it to be something that can be worn and celebrated across so many skin tones. And to see the love that Cherry Blossom has received, even to this day, it essentially came out in 2015, 2 years after the brand was born. So to see that Cherry Blossom is still very much celebrated, here
Yep.
we are in 2023, it's amazing. And it's the perfect blue undertone red lipstick that literally, when I say it can be worn across all skin tones, it can be worn across all skin tones. And it's a wow factor. When you see it on the lightest of skin tones and the darkest of skin tones, it's uniquely beautiful for everyone. And like you said, I never thought
Yeah.
that I can wear a red lipstick. And then when Cherry Blossom was born, I never put it down. I literally never put it down, and recently put up a reel. I want to say about 6 days ago on the brand's
I
Instagram
saw
page.
it.
And it almost went mini viral. It garnered over 8,800 likes because people were like, I need this lip. And so to see 7, 8 years later that it's still breaking barriers, that's a compliment in itself. So I appreciate each and every one of you that, to this day appreciate and love Cherry Blossom, because it truly is a unique and the world's best red. So many have tried to duplicate it, but they just can't. We have that special, special formula made just for you.
You do. And I thought about wearing that Cherry Blossom today. I was like, is that
I
going to be
should
doing
put it
too
on
much?
right now just because. Just because.
I was looking like, I need that red today. I should have worn
on camera, child. Okay.
Right.
Show these people what we're working with.
Right.
But go ahead, ask the questions. I am going to put it on.
So my next question is, what led you to create Coloured Raine? And you kind of answered that question in the last question, but when you were in corporate America and you were like, okay, I could be doing, like, my career is growing, going far, but I'm gonna stop everything right now to do something that I love, to give back to others, because it's essentially giving back to those that didn't even know that they could wear certain things. Like, it could be eyeshadows, different eyeshadows that you have, which I still use. What is it?
Queen of Hearts?
Which one?
Queen of Hearts, the eyeshadow palette?
Yes, Queen of Hearts. Still wear it.
Cult favorite.
To this day, like don't want to let it go.
Just like Cherry Blossom, Queen of Hearts is a cult.
Right.
Y'all get into this.
Right.
Y'all got to zoom into that.
Oh, beautiful. It's just, and these the lips that you said nobody they talked about. That's making money for you now.
These are my money makers.
Right. Laugh at me now.
Okay. I had an Uber driver ask me, where did I get my lips done when I was living in California? And I was like, Jesus Christ, my mother and my father. Okay, honey?
Right.
These are natural.
Beautiful.
I took offense to that because I was like, first of all, my lips look very normal.
But I guess they're not used to, people are like you said, paying for this. So it's more natural for somebody to pay for it than them to just have them.
My lips are not giving pumps, so she needed to slow her roll there. But anyway.
Right. So what was the thing that said, you know what, I'm gone. I'm leaving this. I'm done with it. I need to go pursue this. And just up and leave.
I love when I get asked this question and I just tell it as plain as day. I had no passion for what I was doing. I was an executive assistant for about 15 plus years in the financial industry. And I was very good at what I did, extremely good at what I did, but I hated it. I did it just for a paycheck. And even though I was making great money, I was making six figures. It's not something that I enjoyed. I hated it. I would complain when the managing partners and managing directors would come to me and give me an assignment to do something that I was paid and paid well to do. I would give them an attitude
Right.
about it. So it's one day I was sitting on the trading floor and I was talking to a good friend of mine, and we were brainstorming on what we felt we should step out and do because we both hated our jobs. And
Right.
so as we were brainstorming, initially I was going to start, when I came up with beauty products, initially I was going to start with eyeshadows. I wanted
Mhm.
to focus on the eyes because, once again, being made fun of having big, bold eyes. So I said, okay, I'm going to start off on eyes. This is where you're going to, how the eyes are the windows to the soul. I think that's the
Right.
saying. So essentially, I was going to start off with eye products. And then as I was doing, my R&D, and I was testing all of 2012, I started testing beauty products. I eventually migrated into lips, and Coloured Raine was when we started. I started with about 5 to 6 matte liquid lipsticks. No, take that back. I started off with the traditional bullet lipsticks, and they were called uncensored lips. They were
Mhm.
these bold colors like green lipstick, blue lipstick, purple lipstick. I was going yellow lipstick, teal lipstick. I didn't start off with your traditional colors. I wanted to start off with something that would grab everyone's attention, and it did. As a Black-owned brand in 2013, there were hardly any products on the beauty market that worked for women and people that look like you and I.
Yeah.
So when I started off the business, that's what I started off with bold, uncensored, lip colors. And then essentially that turned into matte liquid lipsticks. And then in 2015, 2016, the Queen of Hearts eyeshadow palette came out. So that was
Mhm.
born then. It's a perfect everyday eyeshadow palette, loved across brides. They love wearing this on their special day. And it really is a perfect eyeshadow palette. It's a 12 pan eyeshadow palette that is perfect to wear on your special day. I mean, I think I have it handy and I can show you guys really quickly. It might be a little bit trusty and dusty, excuse me, but this is what the product looks like. Like, get into
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
perfect to create an everyday look, transition into a night look. And yeah, so many people love it. And even to this day, it's completely sold out now, just like Cherry Blossom is. But even to this day, it's a loved and coveted product. And we have people that email us every day, when is this product coming back? We've noticed it's been out
Yeah.
of stock for quite some time. When is it coming back? Now, that's another thing I want to touch on. Being a single, Black woman business owner. And I know
Right.
you didn't ask this question, but I think it's
It's
important
okay.
I think it's important to touch on this because there are a lot of people that, like me, hate their job or what they're doing now. It's no passion there, so they want to step out
Right.
on faith and essentially do what they have passion for, what they love for. And I say, go for it. It's never too late. The only time it's too late is when you're 6 feet under, and at that point, you can't do anything. Step out on faith, go out and do it, but don't think about the fact that I don't have the financing to do it. I don't have the funding to do it. What I did was I was an employed entrepreneur for the first 2 years. A lot of people don't know that or realize it. I worked for the
Mhm.
first 2 years of Coloured Raine. And then in 2015, I left corporate America full time to run Coloured Raine full time. And I've been, working the brand 100% reliant on Coloured Raine, on my own cognizant. Like, I'm not, I don't get funding from anywhere else or
Right.
unless it was a business loan. And when I first started Coloured Raine, my credit was bad. My credit was bad. So I worked on cleaning up my credit. But
Right.
until then, I worked overtime. And it was my overtime money that I used to start my business. And I started off small. You have to start off with what you have. You can't put the cart before the horse. You know what I mean? So if you got to work that overtime, great, work that overtime. But always remember, focus on the key goal and stay tunnel vision,
Yeah.
that it's to do your own thing, to work on your own brand, something that you're passionate about. Never sit and think that you cannot obtain it. It's all obtainable. Anything is possible. Anything whatsoever is possible.
Yeah.
Change your mindset, have faith, see it before you see it, have faith in God, and know that all things are possible in Christ. So that's my key to any aspiring business, entrepreneur looking to start a brand, and they may be a little bit afraid to step out on faith. Just, I tell y'all all the time, I have a parachute attached to my back, jumping off cliffs every day. I'm a base jumper, so I'm a go. Not literally a base jumper. I really don't jump off a cliff.
Right.
Figuratively speaking, you know, you have to take that chance in life.
Yeah.
I think with starting a business, it's chance taking, it's gambling. But guess what? The worst thing that can happen is you fail. You fail and you learn from that experience. It's not a mistake, it's an experience. You learn from it. And then when you move on to the next best thing, guess what? You have all these years of experience and you know how to tackle the next assignment that you're given.
That's good. Because when I left my job, it was the hardest thing. I cried. You jumped into it, and I cried the first year.
Did you really?
And I loved what I did. But I knew it was time to take it to a different level. I knew it was time to shift.
And how long has it
been?
Too long. You got to think about it.
Almost 10 years.
See? And look at you. You're
right.
sustained by God. You are sustained.
Yeah. And this is straight a God thing. Because every day I say, I don't know where it's coming from.
He sustains us. No, seriously.
Yeah.
The past 2 to 3 years, I'm like, this business should have closed down from the pandemic. After that, then you had the worldwide crisis of, you know, racism, then the recession and things slowing down. And I'm like, my gosh, how did I make it this far? How did I make it this far? And the only thing I can attest it to is God kept me and my business sustained, because if it were on me, we would have closed.
Yeah. So you kind of moved yourself right into the next question of, like, as you know, our show is about empowering and encouraging women to be their best selves as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, or whatever they do. And how do you find balance in your life across all your roles?
Well, luckily for me, my son is going to be 26 in 2 months. So he's not a baby.
Ooh.
I know. I know. He's going to be 26 in 2 months. So I don't have to devote as much attention to him, but I still, you know, as a mother, am concerned about him. And he doesn't live here with me in Texas. He's in California. So I still have to make sure mentally, and I'm trying to groom him spiritually, you know, someplace that he's not 100% yet. So I still, you know, keep in touch and give some time to him where I can. As far as with my husband, you know, when things got bad, when business slowed down, he went back out and worked. And so he's within law enforcement, and I'm concerned about his safety there. So when he's home, I drop everything. First of all, I made it, and Patrick would be so happy. You would be so happy with me too, Jessica. I used to work 24/7. Y'all know that. I used to be with this laptop glued to my lap. Y'all would have thought it was an essential organ, but it's not. I only work now Monday through Friday. Seriously. I only work now Monday through Friday between the hours of, like, anywhere between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's my cutoff. I don't do it on weekends anymore.
Oh, good.
And I don't work after 5 p.m. And it took me some years to do that. I had to force myself to do it, because I noticed when I was working around the clock, I started hating what I was doing. And I did not want to fall into that same mentality of hating what I do, because I love creating beauty products. So I made a conscious decision to cut off my working hours, keeping it regular Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, just as if I was working for someone else. And spend family time. So when my husband is home, we're either, you know, watching a movie or some of our favorite shows that we love doing, or, you know, we have, you know, dialect, we conversate with each other. And if not that, we go out on dates every now and again, which I thoroughly love doing with him. And, you know, we go to bed pretty early. I'm in bed by 9:30, 9 o'clock sometimes 8:30, you know, but it's important to devote family time. But those moments that I do tap into work, and if it happens to be after business hours, I'm jotting down notes. It's very rare that I'm doing this anymore, but I'm jotting down notes. I try to make, you know, use of my time, not try, but I make use of my time during working hours, Monday through Friday, in creating, coming up with different marketing ideas, how to market the business, And having little conversations with my son here or there throughout the day. But other than that, it's
Yeah.
just about balancing. In the beginning, it was hard for me to understand how to balance. And entrepreneurship was something that was very brand new to me. So I knew nothing about it. I had no mentorship. I didn't know who to speak to. Um, and I didn't have anyone to speak to. So I had to learn on my own. And did my marriage suffer because of that? Absolutely. In the beginning, we would
Yeah.
argue back and forth about, you're hardly spending time with me. You're always on the computer. Da, 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 da. And my rebuttal would be, oh, I have to focus on building this business, which
Yeah.
every entrepreneur knows the first few years of a business, you're literally coddling, raising, breastfeeding that business. It's a
Yeah.
baby. And that's what I did. But I'm grateful that I was able to learn, and I learned how to maneuver and compromise. And now I'm in a happy place mentally with my marriage. I'm in a happy place with the business. I mean, the business is still growing. So, and I'm in a happy place with my son. So it's just a matter of focusing on balancing time with family and balancing time with the business. And I can say that that's an area that I've improved in greatly.
We threw some good nuggets out there when you said you go to bed at 8, 9, and you say it's early, but they say the wealthier in bed early.
That's
and they're
true. I
waking
didn't even
up
realize that.
full and in our mind. Yeah, they said that your brain is fresh.
It
So
is.
you give yourself your brain enough time to rest so it can
Yeah.
still be creative.
Yep, absolutely. And then I've now fallen back into routine because I used to think about the times when the business was really at its best. And I don't remember what time I went to bed, but I remembered every day I was up at 6:30 and I was in the gym working out. And I fell right back into that routine. So at 6:30, I'm working out 6:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And I try not to go past that because I make it a routine. All right, as soon as I wake up, I say my prayer. I meditate a little bit. And then I get up and I go on the treadmill. I work out for about 2 hours. And during that time, I'm feeding my brain information, whether that be with worship music, I look at that as time dedicated to God as well, because one thing I've realized in growing spiritually, my relationship with God is that health is wealth. And if God lives in me and my body is a temple of God, I therefore have to take care of this. So I'm making a conscious decision to be disciplined. I realize one of my prayers to God has always been, how can I be a disciple of God? Well, in order for me to be a disciple, I need to learn discipline. And through learning discipline, I have to be consistent in working out and living a healthier lifestyle. So these are things that I'm trying, I'm working on for myself. And I realize that it's also going to help me to be a better human being, a healthier human being. It certainly has taught me a lot of patience. And it's just, it feels good just getting that routine in and out early in the morning. So that's just what I've been doing lately. And I have to say, I'm feeling great.
So today was the first day to really get my kids up and downstairs to eat breakfast and out the door, because every day I say, you know what, I'm gonna wake up at 5. I don't, but but to get up and to spend time with God, cause in that rush time, like now I wake up and try to roll over, spend a little bit of time while they're brushing their teeth, using the bathroom, but really being able to spend that time and trying to get a routine to get out, so I'm not rushing and being upset at the cars in front of me and being upset with the kids. But come downstairs, let's have a good breakfast, but just trying to find a routine. So and come home and not be tired from just that 3 hours to get them out of the bed, down the stairs, in the car.
You guys do it. I don't know how you guys do it. I think personally, I look up to women like you for the simple fact that, again, my child is going on 26. How old are the kids? Anywhere from Sincere is what, 21, 20? And then you have
Sincere be 20 in a couple days, and then Joe is 10. And then Jonas is what? No, I'm sorry. Joe will be 10.
Uh-huh.
Jonas will be 8, and then Serenity will be 6.
That's hard work. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to mentally prepare for yourself. Only mentally prepare for yourself. You have to mentally prepare for Serenity, for Jonas, for Joseph,
Yeah.
and for Sincere. And then you also have to mentally prepare for your husband. So it's just like, okay, I need to figure out a way. How am I going to manage time to spend time with God, spend time with my husband, spend time, with these kids, and most importantly, spend time with myself. So therefore you have to, try to figure out how you could juggle and really be there for yourself, because in order to be there for yourself, in order to be there for everyone else, you got to be there for yourself, and you got to take care of yourself. I really take my hat off to you, because that's difficult. I only have one. You guys got a whole basketball team, honey. Okay. I can't do it. I can't.
One shy of a basketball team, but
I can't.
But
Lord
it's good
knew.
to have a team. Like Patrick does really good with helping, and I'm just grateful to have him. He's the one waking them up and getting them out of bed and telling them to go to the bathroom and doing those things. So it's good to have somebody like that.
Let me tell you something about Patrick. Okay. And I know you know him much better than I, but on a different level. But he's a godsend. No, literally, that man is a godsend.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with him one time over text, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I used to go jogging at like 4 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, 4 o'clock in the morning? That's ungodly hours.
5 miles.
At 4 o'clock in the morning? Ain't it dark outside?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that takes a different level of discipline and consistency, and he was doing it for quite some time, and then have to be there for 4 kids, and then have to run multiple businesses, and then have to help kids with homework. No, I'm done. I already checked out. I
always say God don't give you more than you can bear, and he know what you can bear. And I'm like, Lord, you're tapping on that line. But maybe and it has to be with him. All this stuff is with him. There's no way I could do any of this without God. So.
No, seriously. I've said it, my mother, my siblings, they've seen me go through some things, and I don't really show or talk to anyone when I go through stuff. I don't talk to anyone. The only person I talk to is God. And that's not necessarily the best. I mean, it's great that I have a relationship that I feel like I can go to talk to God, but in a human form, I don't talk to anyone. Right. And so when I go through things, every now and again, or if, something happens where my mother physically sees something, or know of something that goes on with the business, she says to me, she was like, if it were me, I would have been in a crazy house or something of the sort, because how do you do it? And I said, I should have been in an institution a long time ago, but it is God's grace. No, I'm so serious, because
there's so many of us like that. Like, I don't know how. Yeah.
Like I should have lost it. Yeah. But somehow he's given me the strength. He sustained me, goes right back to that. He sustained me, and here I am still standing. And I always think on people that have ran businesses and even closed their business down, or made the painful decision to close their business down. And I often think to myself, did they close it too soon? Did they not give themselves a chance, or did they know that this was it? And I'm just grateful that even though I'm scraping at the bottom of the barrel, somehow, some way, that barrel keeps getting filled up. Not somehow, some way. That's only God. That's only the miraculous hand of God. That barrel keeps getting filled, because it's like, when he fed the 5,000, there was two fish and 5 loaves of bread. Somehow he keeps multiplying that basket. I don't know how. There are times I've lost it, and I've gotten to the point of frustration, and I would literally tell God, I'm so angry right now. I'm not angry with you because you didn't cause certain situations. Yes, you may have allowed them to happen because you had some reason, something. You're building my testimony from all of this, and you're teaching me certain things. And I've even seen a difference in myself. I've seen a major difference in myself. And I had to go through those trials and tribulations. But I would say, God, I'm angry. I'm angry that you've allowed this to go on for so long. And what am I doing wrong? That situations haven't changed, things haven't changed, but only He knows. And I
Yeah.
trust His plan.
Yeah.
Literally, I trust His plan, because it's a heck of a lot better than the plans that I have for myself.
Yep.
And that's all I could say to that,
And
really.
and listen, that's the main point. Is we think our plan is perfect, but he says that his ways are perfect. So I'm just like, I'm upset about this, but I know you have a perfect plan and on the other. So it's just I'm gonna walk this out because I trust you because you've been so good and you haven't let me down now.
That is so true. There was one time recently that I was upset with God, and I felt like I was upset with Him for a day. And I was like, this is too long. I can't be upset with God. I'm serious. I'm serious. I woke up and I noticed, and I started saying things. And then I realized the enemy was feeding off of those things that I was saying. And so in my head, he was like, yeah, you see, you held on for this long. He ain't doing nothing. He's not doing nothing. And then by that night, my speech changed and I was in tears and I had to beg God, God, please forgive me. I was having a flesh moment. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
Seriously, please forgive me. Don't hold this against me. I realize I'm not the only human to may have said things that, that out of anger, out of frustration, but please forgive me because I had to think back on the moments that I've had encounters with Him and He's given me His promises and His promises have held true. And I just have to snatch myself back down to reality and realize that he's literally kept me this long.
Yeah.
And just because things are not going the way I intended to go, that's okay, because I'm learning to be content and I'm learning how to look at the good and focus on the good instead of what I don't have. And then one thing I always try to remind myself is someone's situation is way worse than mine.
Yeah.
So for instance, someone could not have their freedom based off of whether it was a wrong decision that they've made and landed them in a position of being in prison, or someone's life was taken away from them. And that's a worse situation, or someone is homeless.
Yeah.
Or someone doesn't know where their next meal is coming from. And then I literally have to smack myself like, girl, snap out of this. Like, really, you have a lot to be grateful for. So those are the things I try to focus on, and those are the things that God reminds me of on a daily basis. And even just having this interview with you and talking with you, I have to realize that I'm so grateful. I'm so very grateful. I have a lot to give God thanks for. There are times that I didn't know how rent was going to be paid. There are times, and I like to keep it 100. I've even reached out to Patrick, like, Patrick, can you help me foot this business expense because I can't make it? And he was willing and he was generous, So it was just like, there's so much. People think that entrepreneurship is just a bed of roses. You got to work 50, 100 times harder.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
now you're 100% dependent on yourself.
Yep.
And I cannot wait because I know that time is going to come. I'm like, Jessica, pull out the archives. We're going to look back on this interview and we're going to listen to the things that we both spoke about.
Right.
And we're going to say, my gosh, we thought this was bad. Look at us now.
Yeah. So you said, tag, it'll come back to me. It'll come back. I was like, I should have wrote it down. Right. I'm getting old.
No, I'm just talking too much.
No. Oh, I know what it was. When you have those times, on my podcast, I used to say, don't do life alone. And when I feel that way, like all this negative stuff, I have really a few friends, not a whole bunch, that I could go to and say, you know what? This is too much. Bring me down off this bridge. I don't want to jump, but it's a lot going on. I don't understand. And I get to cry and be vulnerable with them. So that's why I was going to say, maybe you need to find somebody that you can trust. It might not come right away. It might be a family member. It might be a a sister or aunt or somebody that you can say, you know what, this is what's going on. I don't want you to worry. And sometimes I don't even want you to say anything. I just want you to listen. And because those negative things, just the other day, it was something negative I was playing and I had to go pick up something from a friend. And I said, I went in there. She was like, what's wrong? I'm looking like nothing. She was like, no, it's something. And then I talked about it and she was like, okay, you know, that's not you. You know, you better than that. You know, this is nothing. Let's move on. And then I walked away. You know what? It's nothing.
I think that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when you have someone's shoulder that you can lean and cry on. My problem is trust.
Yeah.
My problem is trust on a friend aspect. And I have very few friends. In high school was a different story. I had every friend in the book. But here I am, how many ever years later from high school?
Yeah.
Almost 30 years. Oh my gosh. Is it almost 30 years? I don't know. Whatever. Or almost 20 years. Whatever. Anyway, I have very few friends. On one hand, I can count on. And I'm not saying I don't trust my friends because I really do trust my friends. There's probably two in particular that I feel like I can call and cry on their shoulder, and they wouldn't have anything to say. They would just be waiting there with open arms.
Right.
Like, girl, you can lean on me and cry on my shoulder. The problem is that I feel like, and this is something I need to learn how to get over. I feel like I don't want to burden people with my stress.
That's me too. But when it's a good friend, they should be like, "Don't worry." But it should be an even thing.
They really
that
would.
person.
They would take that attitude. They would say, "Don't worry." They wouldn't be judgmental. They would cry with me. They would give me the biggest hug. But my feeling is I don't want to burden anyone with my problems. Same thing with family. I don't want to burden anyone with my problems, so I don't call anyone.
Yeah.
I don't feel like anyone would judge me because I don't keep those type of people around me. Even in the family, I don't feel like anyone would judge me. I just feel like I don't want to burden anyone with my problems. So that's why I don't talk to people. The only one, if I do have a moment where I just can't hold back and I just have to cry, it'll be my husband.
Yeah.
And he'll give me a brief talk and he'll say, listen, you cannot let this get you down. You have faith, don't you? If you have faith, you got to keep holding on to that faith, keep holding on to that word, and you keep on pushing and keep on believing. And it's always in those moments where I feel like, God, I'm so upset. God, I'm pissed. And this is that and the third. And then here comes Vince. He's like, you have faith, don't you? Hold on to that faith. Like, because then otherwise you're just talking and you fake punking right now. And that's not it. Not fake punking, but fake pumping. You fake pumping right now. So, you know, if you have faith, you hold on to that faith. And it's been a long 3 years, but I'm still holding on to that faith.
Yeah. And husbands are great. I mean, it don't have to be, they're our friends too. So they're our best friends. So even with that, like some people don't have that. So
that's true.
You know,
that is so true.
It's good to have both. But if you have one, that's good too.
Yeah.
So we probably already touched on this, but I'm asked the question anyway. Let's see. You're a mom to an adult son, which you already told me, but you started while he was still young. Do you feel like being a mom held you back from chasing your dreams to the fullest, or did it help you, or did it help push you, or both?
I don't think being a mom held me back. I think in that aspect, and I have to admit, I feel like I was somewhat of a selfish mother. I felt like I devoted too much time when I was focused on something. I was focused, and I'm tunnel vision on what I'm focused on. I felt like I could have devoted more time to Nathaniel or to develop a closer bond, a closer relationship with him. And there were times that he felt like I gave too much energy into my business and not into him. And I can admit that I was selfish in that area, but I also felt like I had to do these things because I didn't have anyone to rely on. I had to only rely on myself. So it was always hustle, hustle, hustle. How can I, be prosperous in this area to make sure that my child is taken care of? Even though I was in a relationship with Vince, Vince and I have been together for half of our lives. He's not Nathaniel's biological father. However, I look at him as Nate's biological father because he's been in Nathaniel's life since he was 3 years old. I always felt like I had to depend on myself. He wasn't my husband. Vince wasn't my husband at the time, but I felt like I had to depend on myself. So it was just like I couldn't rely on family. I had to rely on me. So how am I going to be successful in whatever it is that I am doing or was doing at the time, in order to provide for this child that I have? Because I will be damned if I depend on the government. I'll be damned if I have to beg anyone for anything. And that's just the mindset I've always had. Even, when I was pregnant with Nathaniel, I had just left high school. I was 18, graduated, just left high school. And maybe not even a month to 2 months after graduating, I found out I was pregnant. And Nathaniel's biological father decided that he wasn't going to be a part of Nate's life. And he went around and told people that that wasn't his child and I slept with other people. Okay, that's the position you want to take? No problem. Right. I'm keeping my baby and I'm going to do what I have to do. And I've raised Nathaniel on my own with Vince's help, when Nate was 3 years old. And I did what I had to do. I had just had Nate. 2 months in, I was working 2 jobs. He was only 2 months old. Wow. And I was working 2 jobs doing what I had to do to make sure that this child never had a need that would be unmet. So I always had that mentality that I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do what I need to do, and get it done. I mean, there were times I thank God for my family because in working 2 jobs, I think I was working, I can't remember. So I can't remember the name of the job, but I was working as a secretary by day and as a night auditor in a hotel at night, balancing the books and things of that nature. Wow. Mm-hmm. And I was breastfeeding. I was breastfeeding, right? I didn't know anything about needing breast pads because your milk will engorge and all of that stuff. And I happened to be at work and the milk just started leaking. I was embarrassed. But what did I do? I put some tissue there, kept having to change it out until I learned what I needed to do. And I would go home, take care of this baby that I knew nothing on how to raise a baby, but my mom would help me the best way she can. And my older sister one time came home from work. I fell asleep on the bed. Nathaniel was on my lap and I had my legs up like if you were doing stomach crunches with your knees up. And my legs started to topple over and that baby was going to fall. And she came in the room just in time. Because I was so tired working 2 jobs, but I did what I had to do without a complaint. And to this day, I'm going to still do what I got to do.
Yeah. This is so funny. I've known you for all this time.
And you never knew that.
We kind of have a similar story.
Oh, really?
Baby 2 months out of high school, got pregnant 2 months out of high school. Found out I was pregnant after, and I ended up going to college because I said I'm still going because I had a full scholarship in track. And I went there for a semester and came home when he was due in February. So I didn't go back the next semester.
You did college all while pregnant.
Yep. And I didn't even tell the track coach that I was pregnant. Wow. Somebody that went with me, mother told the track coach that I was pregnant. So lost had to pay for school, which was fine. I still needed to get away. I needed to go away.
Right.
And then came back home, had Sincere, and then I worked 2 jobs like you. A teacher during the day, and then worked at Walmart for like remodeling Walmarts and stuff like that. Everything was a grind. But that's what my mom taught you work. You and I didn't want to put that on my mom. So it was like, this is something that I don't like to call a mistake because my child's not a mistake, but this happened. Right. And I had to make it work.
That strong woman that you are. Yeah. We rock, yo. We really do some things. We do what needs to be done and we gets it done.
Yep. Because I was just about to ask you, how do you have the strength to be, or the push to be the entrepreneur? Because it's like some days I feel like, and maybe you feel this way, because I always think entrepreneurs that are overly successful a just goers 24/7, just push, push, push. And I'm like some days I'm just so tired. I can't push today. And do
Well,
you have those times where it's like
again,
it's
your
just too
situation
much?
is very different than mine because you have 4 kids and that's not easy. I don't think
Yeah.
I would be able to do it if I had 4 kids. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I don't think that mentally or physically I would be able to do it. It would be just entirely too hard for me. Um, but there are days where I'm mentally distraught and I feel like today I can't do it and I need to take a break. And that's okay. We're
Yeah.
human. And out of 10 years, I want to say I probably, if I had to lump it into working hours, I would say there was probably 80 hours of feeling like that in 10 years. So 2
Wow.
whole work
Okay.
weeks of
Yeah.
having those moments where I felt like today I can't do it. And I'm
Mhm.
probably being exaggerative. It's probably less time than that because
Yeah.
again, I just have this thing in me where I feel like I have to keep on going because
Mhm.
at my
Mhm.
family, I got to take care of family, I got to do this, you know? So
Yeah.
when I say 2 weeks, I'm probably being exaggerative, and I still to this day have not taken a vacation. And y'all know I'm trying to be better about that. But I will this year for sure. I'm taking me a vacation. Vince and I haven't even went on honeymoon,
Mm.
and we've been married going on 12 years this year.
Wow. You got to take a vacation.
Yeah, because I need to be inspired. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's going to inspire such beautiful creations when I take a vacation. So it's something that I'm going to force myself to do. And for every entrepreneur, take that time out to recalibrate, take that
Yeah.
time out to allow yourself to be inspired, take that time
Yeah.
out to allow yourself to be um creative, because in going to see different things, experiencing different things, um you can come up with some of the most beautiful creations. And that's just something, the world, even though it's in chaos right now and everyone is angry, there's still so many beautiful things to see, so many beautiful things to
Yeah.
see. um and I want to take full advantage of that before I permanently close my eyes on this earth.
Yeah. Because I feel like you do a lot of great things. Your creations are amazing. I can't wait till you go on vacation and come back and see what it's like. I can't. I'm gonna be all my feet in the door, like, what's going on? Trying to look through the windows.
You know,
What's
the
next?
funny thing is, people would think that you get insight, like early insight. I don't tell nobody what I'm doing. Vince will see it. And he's like, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, I'm creating. He's like, how you creating and you ain't got no money? You still got to be ready to pull the trigger when that time
Yeah.
comes. I'm
Yeah.
always creating. I'm always creating. And in business, don't don't feel bad if you run into a financial wall. Every
Yeah.
business runs into that, but you still have
Yeah.
to prepare yourself and be ready because you won't always be in that position.
Yeah.
That's important and that's key. Always have so many projects on your list that at any point you can pull the trigger on something and get it going. Have an approved formula if it's a product that you're creating, it's a product-based business, or if it's a service that you're doing, have, or ebook or whatever the case is, have those things ready on the back burner so that you can pull the trigger when it's time, it's go time.
Yeah. The best thing about vacation that I learned when I was doing event decor is I
Oh,
got to
you're so
see
inspired.
things that I've never seen before. I was like, oh, even going out to eat. I was like, oh, you put that napkin like that? Oh, how you tie that? And I'll slowly untie it to see how it's
Oh,
tied.
wow, you do?
Yeah, I mean, even taking pictures in front of things that blow my mind, that blows
Right,
my mind.
right.
So I could take it and give it to somebody else so they can have that same experience. So I'm waiting for
Nice.
your experience, the experience you're gonna bring back from
Ooh,
all.
I received that because I need it, honey. I need it. I need it.
Right. So I think this is the last question, but what's next for you and Coloured Raine?
What's next for me? Vacation.
Okay.
Number one, vacation. That's what's next for me.
Okay.
For Coloured Raine, just to keep on creating. I want to create innovative products. Um, that my customer base will love, that they'll appreciate, and most importantly, that will work for them.
Yeah.
Um, that's quality and affordable. What I've been doing, um, embracing beauty through unity. Um, you know, I think it's important for you to feel uh just as beautiful on the outside as you do on the inside, but self-care is so important. So my thing is mentally take care of yourself. And when you're feeling down and out, that's why I create products based off of stories, because I want you to be able to put yourself together in a way that you'll feel beautiful, and that you can relate to that story that I'm trying to tell through a product. So what's next for Coloured Raine is still to create some beautiful products that you guys will fall in love with, that will, be inspiration for other, entrepreneurs or other brand owners and things of that nature. I just want to continue striving to be the best version that I can be of myself, and have that echo through my business and start other businesses. We actually have a handbag line that's going to be launching this year.
Okay.
And it's called the Seven Company or the Seven Co. I can't remember. I'm a co-owner with my sister. And when I tell you this handbag line is giving luxury, y'all, it's giving quality luxury. Like, I've been going through testing it. It's a year now that we've been doing R&D, and we finally have narrowed it down from 10 suppliers to two suppliers,
Okay.
and they really impressed us. We're in the last stages of some colorways that we're testing out to see what it looks like, and then we're pulling the trigger, and we should have our first purchase order submitted, I want to say no later than March, hopefully the end of this month. No, not the end of this month, I'm being a little bit eager there, but in March we should have our first purchase order submitted, so that by summertime it's launching. And it's giving Chanel, it's
Okay.
given Hermes, it's giving
Okay.
all of that without that hefty price tag. Y'all are gonna be like,
Okay.
there's no way this quality product is this inexpensive.
Well,
It,
if it's as quality as
it is.
your, then
Honey,
I'm
some
here.
of the material that we use is
Mm-hmm.
these same luxury brands are using the same material and charging excessive, exorbitant fees. There's no need to do that.
Yeah.
There's just no need to do that. You should be able to experience luxury without having to break your pockets. So we're going to give everybody that opportunity to feel beautiful with our accessory lines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the meaning behind the name seven, the biblical meaning behind it, completeness, perfection. That's why we came up with the name seven. Holy Spirit actually gave me that name. Um,
Yes.
and it's going to come with a nice biblical scripture. You're beautifully and wonderfully made, or marvelously made, um, with your packaging. And ever so often the scripture will change. It's to uplift you, to make you feel
Yep.
beautiful, and to know that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. So just as well as your handbag. So I can't wait. I'm super excited about
And
that.
where are we finding this? Is this going to be on your website, on the Coloured Raine website, or a separate website, or?
So it's going to be a separate website.
Okay.
Where and we're going to market it. We're going to figure out a way that we can market it to the current Coloured Raine customers. I have over 300,000 customers.
Okay.
So we're going to figure out a way that we're going to market it to the Coloured Raine customers, in addition to having a layout of how we're going to market to new customers, to get new customers. So if you have the opportunity, I can't remember the Instagram name. I think it's seven.co. So it's svn.co. That's
And
the
we'll link it
Instagram
in the
name.
description too. You
Yeah,
can give it to us, and we'll link it in the description so they
yeah,
can go through it.
yeah, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna give it to you, because I don't want to be
Okay.
wrong about that. But I believe it's seven. It's so new. It's
Yeah.
svn.co. So you can go and follow and be fully, informed of the official launch date.
Okay. Nice. And what
And
about
it'll
the
be
skin
like these
stick?
bold lip colors, okay? It's not gonna be, there will be traditional colors, but there will be also some bold colors.
Okay. And don't forget, did you tell us about this skin stick? When is that coming out?
Skin sticks right now. So let me give you a preview if I could find a clean packaging. I use this all the time. This is clean. This is cleaner. So skin sticks are going to be launching. It was supposed to launch this month, but it's looking like it's going to launch in March, more so in March. But this is what the packaging looks
Okay.
like.
Nice.
And the reason why I kept it simple is simply because I wanted you to know that it's a clean formula, and there are no toxins or anything used in the formula. So
Okay.
again, it'll launch sometime in March.
All right.
And it'll be $18 for an
Oh,
all clean
that's a good
formula with
price.
essential oils. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
a really good price.
Yeah. So I
I
can't
need
wait.
to get to it before everybody buy it up.
I got you. I got you.
So, you guys, I hope you were encouraged. I hope you learned a lot about Loraine and just her journey. And I hope you found out some things that can help you grow into being your best selves
Yes.
and not being afraid to jump out and do what you were called to do. I
Right.
love you guys. Oh, let me know. Hold on before I forget. We do have a giveaway. So the way
Right.
you win your giveaway is in my next episode. I'm going to give away a gift card, a $50 gift card for Coloured Raine. And all you have to do is like and comment on this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Hey, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you got anything from it, please share it with someone you think it will bless. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the J. Christyn Show right here on YouTube. You can download the audio-only version by subscribing to the show on most major podcast platforms. Also, make sure you check out our links in the comments below for more ways to engage with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on the J. Christyn Show.